small portion bags. And then I also have mailed some out here. I'll grab my wife arranged my office today, so I don't know where we're at. Okay. Padded envelopes. When you send something in the mail, you want to make sure that it's in a padded envelope. Otherwise, you might get a message from your prospects that was crushed. So that has happened. One of the guys, Lance, mailed one off to somebody, and he sent 4 or 6 tablets, and he sent me the photo, and they were kind of disintegrated because first class mail can sometimes get heavy loads on top of it. With a whole bunch of other envelopes are in the mail with it. So yeah, it's going great. The first couple people that I sampled both signed on as promoters, and one has duplicated to 8 people, and another one has signed up her first promoter already. And we ordered the leader launch pack, which has 10 wows and 5 boosts and 12 packages of fuel tablets. And I've sold out of the first leader launch pack and ordered a second one already.
Right.
So that means we're moving product.
Well, it's an excellent product. Before we go on and talk more about the sampling, because I know that you had, why don't you tell us, while I tell this person that I can't talk to them, why don't you tell everybody about your sugar levels?
Oh, yeah, that's my exciting news of the day. As I said last week, those of you who heard, my blood sugar levels were above 200 all winter. And I've had this problem for years. I actually had open heart surgery in 2013. So 10 years ago, it'll be 10 years in October. And just dealt with this diabetes, heart disease for years. And I've always had a problem. I just love buffet restaurants and eat until I've had my fill. Just something I've never been able to shake. So, and it's been a bad thing because eating all that food, it just puts on weight and increases your blood sugar. Well, since taking the WOW product since March 1st, I have lost 8 pounds. I've plateaued at 8 pounds. I seem to be staying right there. But my blood sugar I think is a better story, having been in 200 all winter long. This morning it was 103. So basically cut it in half. Wow. Which anybody that knows anything about blood sugar that knows that's sensational.
It is. That's phenomenal. And you're diabetic, yeah? And you were taking hardcore medication?
Yeah, I've been taking metformin for years, and the doctor had actually increased the dosage to these horse pills, 1,000 milligrams twice a day.
Wow. So you're back off of them now?
As I said last week, I haven't been on them since my sugar went down to normal, and I was worried about going off if my sugar was going to rebound, but it hasn't. I mean, this morning I haven't taken the metformin for over 10 days, maybe 12 days, and to be 103 is just awesome. So that tells me it's working, and I don't need this stinking metformin anymore.
And just so people will understand the ramifications of metformin, it is toxic to your liver and your kidneys, and so people who are on it for a lifetime wind up developing other health challenges. So Brian, it's just amazing that this product was able to decrease your blood sugar levels so much that you could actually get off that product. And I don't know whether your doctor is pleased or not. He should be pleased, and he should be asking you, what are you doing, so that he can help other patients. But then there's a whole other class of doctors. So what do you think about your doctor?
Well, you may have seen, I wrote a letter to my doctor. It's actually a lady, and she hasn't responded. However, she did send me a letter saying that I need to stay on metformin because 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I had my A1C checked, and I was 8.1, which is quite high. And that's right. That's a reflection of where I was all winter, because A1C is a reading of the previous 3 months, is how I understand it. So she wasn't aware that when I took that blood draw, I was still using metformin. So she was, because I did write her a letter saying I'm off metformin, and I think she's maybe a little leery. She hasn't responded as far as the WOW product. I'm going to follow up with her, believe me, because I'm not going to go back on metformin if the WOW has got my blood sugar reacting so well. It'd be pointless.
Sure. And you know, we can only hope to find products like this. There's nothing magic about this. This product turns off the CB1 receptor in your brain, which is responsible for the munchies and cravings. And so Brian had mentioned to me that he can control his cravings now. He still has them a little bit, but now they're controllable, whereas they weren't before. And the perfect example, Brian, is I use you all the time as an example. You told me you were going down to give somebody a sample of this product, and you were traveling a bunch of miles, I think 30 or 40 or 50 miles, and you passed your very favorite Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet, and you just passed it going, and then you passed it coming, and going back home, and then you called me and you said, the guy I gave the sample to called me, he's got 6 people already, and guess what? I saved a bunch of money because I didn't stop at my favorite Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet. So
yeah, that's a really good point, because a lot of people will look at this, and most people, especially with inflation these days, are on a budget, and to look at something that's going to cost them $87 if they just get the basic 1 bottle package. Some people, well, that's not really. Well, if you're like me and go to restaurants on average over the past few years, probably 2 or 3 times a week,
right.
Even just stops at the fast food joint's going to cost you $10 anymore. But if you go to like the China buffet or the Big Boy or Ponderosa or any of these other places, you can't get out of there for less than $15 anymore. Usually it's about 20 if you're putting in a decent tip. So,
Sure.
So I look at it that way. It's actually saving me money being on this product, and not only that, it's saving me money on expensive groceries too. It's not that I'm not eating; I'm eating 3 meals a day, but I just eat real small meals.
With exception, talk about the portions that you're eating. I know you told me you made a gigantic steak on the barbecue the other night, but generally speaking, what's happened to your portion sizes when you are eating?
Well, I think the product, well, as it says, I've heard in a lot of when people are talking about it, it's just going to help you make better choices. Now, if you choose not to, if you still, have your donut every morning and ice cream before you go to bed, well, you're probably not going to get the results that you are capable of getting. This isn't there is magic in this product, but you have to put something into it as well. I mean, you have to allow it to help you make those better choices. That's the way I see it.
You do. And I love my WOW. I can tell you that I'm a self-confessed nosher. I always have cakes in my oven, with strudel or a box of brownies. And I also have cookies with my tea or coffee at night when I'm relaxed. And I will tell you that I no longer crave those things, Brian, and everybody's body is different. So your cravings have decreased. My cravings have completely gone. I had
I'm no longer eating the big bowl of popcorn when I'm watching TV.
Right.
It's just, there's no point in that. I'm treating this as a business. As you know, I've got business cards. I'm going and speaking to people that know me. I have a large audience I'm about ready to see here in the next month or so, and they're going to be amazed. But if I, lose, several more pounds, which I plan to do so, and if I get off track and give in to the sweets and stuff like that, and they don't see any difference in me, well, I'm probably not going to sell much WOW. But if I give it a chance and let it do what it's doing for other people, I have one lady, her first 15 days lost 15 pounds. That's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, Dave.
So I'm planning on making sure when the people see me, I'm going to be having lots of those cards handing out to people, because they're going to be like, wow, what happened to you? You got to be able to look at that aspect of it. If you can be a walking billboard, it's going to be great for your business, not only for your health. I mean, there's the money aspect of it, but then there's also the, helping people with health. I mean, how many people that have high blood sugar? I've talked to a couple of them today that 180, 200, 220, that's where I've been. And if they would just give this a chance, they have a good chance of having the same result as I have. So I feel bad not telling people about this.
I do too. That's excellent. And by the way, many of us here on this call know you for the last 8 or 9 months from Dr. Lee's calls, and then some of the corporate calls with Carrie Marshall and Angel Wall, and the Saturday corporate call, the leadership calls and the training calls. And I can see your face. You talked about being a walking billboard. I can see on your face that it has slimmed out. And I know you're taking glutathione as well.
Yep.
And I am too, and it just lifts my countenance. I feel like I have a song in my heart, but I can see from your face that you are not as stressed as you were there. Brian is zooming in on, he bought a leaders pack for $999. And you want to tell us why you did that, Brian?
Because when I got Lance started, he actually bought 5 bottles from me his very first week. And Bert bought, I think, 3 bottles from me.
Right.
Also, when I get people started, if they're local to me, I'll actually offer to take them my bottle or 2, one of my extra bottles, and just say, hey, I'll hook up with you when your shipment comes in and get it back from you. That hasn't happened yet. They buy them from me. Because when people find out how well this product works, well, no, I'll buy the extra one. So it's been awesome. We're just going through a lot of product, and there's been some circumstances where it's nice having an extra bottle. That someone is a prospect, they don't want to sign up in the business. They just want to try a bottle first. Just sell them a bottle for $90. You make a bit of a profit because you're paying, I think on the thing I figured out, I'm paying around $70 a bottle. So I'll take $20 profit, especially if they have a good result, and they may come in as a promoter or lead me to other customers and promoters. It's a win-win all the way around.
It is. Well, are you selling the WOW? You get 10 WOW in that package. Are you selling them for $80 or $90 a piece?
Depends on the person, I guess.
Okay. My point was going to be, if you sell them for 90 with an incentive, they have an incentive to buy it on the website as a customer or as a distributor, same price if you go on the subscription, the auto ship.
Yeah.
And
how I go is that if they're already in the company and they want to get more for sampling that they're going to be giving away, I'll give them the best deal I possibly can. However, if it's a prospect, no, I won't go less than 90, because they can buy it on the site for 87, 94, I believe it is. So why would I give them a better deal? That give them no incentive to go on the site and order it.
Okay. Well, we all have our own philosophies about that. But my point was going to be, even if you sell it for $80 or $85, you get done selling all 10 of those WOW bottles. You have 7/8 of that $999 paid for. What does it come to? $1,011. That means that your 5 bottles of glutathione and your 12 packets, your additional 12 packets of fuel tabs are pure profit when you sell them.
Correct. And I get even better deal because I ordered one through my son who's not active in the business, but I ordered it through his spot. And then I ordered the 2nd liter launch pack. And as we know, you get $100 fast start.
Yes, you do.
And I put it in my lesser leg. So I got, 12% the one time because I hit the, whatever that next star, I guess it is. But last week it didn't go quite to 1,000. So I got, out of 700 CV, I got $70 back just from that purchase. So do the math. That's $170 off of the $999. That's the way to buy it.
That's amazing, Ryan. Well, thanks very much. Before we move on to Steve, Steve is doing something a little bit different than Brian. He and Cindy are taking the WOW, and they've had some good results, and they've lost weight too. But Steve went to Walmart and he bought these little 2x2 Ziploc baggies. I actually went to the dollar store and bought the little bigger ones because they didn't have the smaller ones. and he's putting them in mailers and he's mailing them to people. I think both Brian and Steve, when they follow up with people, they ask them two questions. And the first question is, are you hungry?
Well, first of all, you asked if they've used it yet, because sometimes they don't get around to trying it for a couple days. Oh, one of my prospects, sorry to interrupt on Steve here, but one of my prospects, Christine, she had a really good result. She said she was not hungry, and she's really excited. I'm assuming that they'll be ordering here real soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful. And I know your sister-in-law also bought a bottle from you, and then she immediately came into the system. And because she said she went to her accountant, and her accountant was talking about her taxes, and then all of a sudden she said to your sister-in-law, oh gosh, I need to lose a bunch of weight. And Bert said, would you like to do something about that? And so he then made a sale to her. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. So yeah, it was actually, she had got her interested by giving her a sheet on it, whatever. And actually the accountant had another appointment with another lady who just happened to see the sheet sitting there and looked at it and says, well, I'd like to order some of this. So the accountant had a prospect before she even tried. So that was a pretty good story there. That's
amazing. And we'd like to thank Rebecca, Brian's wife. She created these postcards for us with a QR code that goes to our GoVVo info. Is it GoVVo info or GoVVo info? Intro when you're on the subscription. And mine works, Brian. I immediately ran it up to the office where there's 6 girls, and I said, who's going to scan my thing and test it and see if it goes to the right place? And they said, oh, look, a video about weight loss. Yep. So tomorrow is Friday, and I'm going to be giving them all 4 capsules in one of these baggies and let them take it home over the weekend. And then I will go up there on Monday and I will start talking to them, and I will ask them, were you hungry over the weekend? How did you feel? Because they'll tell you about their hunger. They either were hungry or they weren't, and then they'll tell you how they feel. Don't forget, one of the wonderful things about WOW is it also does something to your brain to curb your cravings, but it also does something to raise your countenance. So you become more, people are describing it as happy. Yeah. Even you, right?
Let's hear from Steve. I want to hear from the man.
Oh. Yeah, I just heard Jim Weir was just calling in from the Philippines, but we took this thing here and took Brian's advice on a few things, what I'm doing. And I got them. I haven't got the postcards or his put together yet, but we made the folder out and then we put our name and our web link on the bottom. But we got the little tablets here, and we got them in the craft department. And I don't know if you can see that at Walmart, and they were like 100 bags for maybe $1.50. And we're putting 4, and right now we're probably getting about at least 50%. One of the major things you got to do is you got to follow through. This is just off the corporate. It has our name and phone number and our web link at the bottom for the product. But it's the biggest things like Brian's talking about. You got 70–80% of Americans out there, if you take advantage of it, either are overweight, have high blood pressure, or diabetes. And this is something that I think they noticed right off the bat. Brian told me about it. And if you take one bottle, you can get 15 test samples. I guarantee you're going to get at least 30% or more of them people that'll buy it. Probably actually more, because it does curb your appetite. Cindy's lost, I think, about 8 pounds. We've been on it just a couple weeks. I fluctuate back from 10 to 12, just depends on it. But you lose your passion for eating, and you start to eat better things. And I think that's what a lot of people that have had weight problems before have tried numerous diets, and they'll try another one, but they get discouraged. But if you don't have the hunger feelings, it's a lot easier to try to stay on the diet that you're on. So only thing we have to do is we have to share this call more, and we have to talk to more people. because there's nothing magical out there. You're not going to go talk to one person and become wealthy. I don't care if you're using the fuel tablets or these products. You have to talk to a lot of people. Just like, how many times have you seen a similar commercial 100 times on TV? Why did they keep running the commercial if they were successful with the first one? You know, they continue to write it because people have to see things or hear things several times before they try it. And like Brian said, he had the difficulties with, you know, passing the fast food places or the smorgasbords and things like that. But he feels better. He's looking better. And look at what happened. Because, you know, that's, you know, when you get your blood sugar or high blood pressure, which is a big thing, and stress is another thing, these tablets seem to relax you. They seem to discourage you from your hunger habits. And we want you to, if you're interested, to try to build this call and get more and more people and more testimonials on there. Because I'd like to take the one that you had today, Brian, and just send it out. You know, I got, you know, my weakness is on on the Facebook. We never did a lot with Facebook. It's always been belly to belly, and I get people on some of the other groups, but I know hundreds of people that have either high blood pressure or you know, or on the verge of diabetics and blood sugar. And that's a tremendous testimonial, because Brian and I did some work together down in Orlando when he was down here with the kids at Disney World, and got to spend a little bit of time with each other. And I didn't know all the issues that he had and what he's accomplished with what he's doing right now, but it's a tremendous product. It's up to you. Some will, some won't, whatever. It's next. So it depends on what you want to get out of this program is what you got to put in it. And you got to do a lot of things at the beginning you don't get paid for, but later on you get paid for a lot of things that you don't do. We've got an opportunity, and it's strictly up to you.
Thanks, Steve. I'm going to let you take a breath, and then I'm going to ask you a question so that you can answer it. I know that you and Cindy are very social out there in Golf Village, and whenever I talk to you, at least 2 or 3 nights a week, you're out having early dinner with other couples and other friends who live in the area. I'm very curious, because I know you and Cindy are successfully taking WOW, and you told me you lost about 8 or 9 pounds individually. But how does that affect you when you go out to the restaurant? Are you ordering, you know, full meals with salads and then appetizers and whole dinners and then desserts? What's happening to the way you eat?
You don't. You don't, because it's just like we started a while back, to where a lot of times when we go out, especially, we don't like to eat too late. A lot of times we are out with a lot of friends, maybe at 7 o'clock or so. But we got to the point to where we start splitting meals, you know, cutting it in half, and we don't go for the desserts. You know, I mean, she likes ice cream, and so do I. And like we say, you know, if we go to Publix or something, do you want it? Yeah, sure, I want it. You know, chocolate chip ice cream or something, or chocolate pecan, or whatever it is. But if we don't buy it, we don't eat it. So you feel better if you just pass it up. But even if you go out later, you just cut the portions down. You don't have to deprive yourself of things you like. You just don't have to eat, like Brian said, 4 boxes of popcorn. One's pretty good, or you don't have to have a gallon of ice cream. And I can actually sit down with the chocolate pecan or something like that, or chocolate almonds, what it is. I could eat the whole gallon of it, no problem. Wouldn't have no problem at all. But you don't need it, so we just cut the portions in half. That's what we do. But it curbs your appetite. It really does.
It does, and everybody's different. I mean, I'm a self-confessed nosher. I started at the beginning of the call talking about that, and I love brownies and cakes and cookies with my tea or coffee at night and stuff like that. And I had a small open box of brownies when I first started the next day from Trader Joe's. They were salted chocolate brownies, really yummy. I ate one before I started taking WOW. And I had a lady in for lunch, and I sent the entire box home with her. And I said to her, please take these home for your husband, because I've lost my appetite for them. I didn't want to have one after I served lunch, and I knew it would just sit on my counter and go bad. And I can't waste food. So I sent it home with her. And you know what, Steve? I have never replaced those brownies in the house. And I too love ice cream, but I just don't buy it because it doesn't appeal to me when I'm out in the supermarkets. So Brian is saying that his cravings are subsided. You're saying that that you're using WOW as a catalyst to make better decisions. And here's another person, me, who's saying that my cravings are absolutely gone. So this product works on, we all have a separate brain and our brains work differently. A lot of stuff is the same, but differently. And our CB1 receptors are different. So we're all having successful results with WOW, and we are all being affected in different ways. But the majority, the main thing that's happening to us is that we're all dropping weight. We're feeling better. We're looking better, and we're feeling great about it. Yeah.
You got it. Good call, RS. We just need to build the lines up. If you're going to do it next Thursday or something like that, you said you're going to simplify it, because I know Jim Dwyer was trying to get in, and I know last week we had some problem with people getting in, but we need to promote it during the week if we're going to do the one on Thursday. It's a great call and it's a great product. And thanks for your what you're doing and holding the thing. And Brian, great testimony. We need more testimonials. So
does anybody on the call have a testimonial? We have about 8 minutes left. Anybody? Denise, are you on the product? Todd?
No, I haven't gotten mine yet, but my son is on it. I know he's losing weight, but I want to make a comment on metformin. Metformin was supposed to be pulled off the market. I don't know why doctors are not understanding what it does to the body. And it was supposed to be pulled off, and they're still writing prescriptions for that, and they're killing people. That's my experience with metformin and my husband. So I just want to let people know, if they put you on metformin, tell them to give you something else. Never let anybody put you on metformin. I had to get my brother off. Okay.
Thank you very much, Denise. And I know your story with your husband and your dear husband, and we're sorry to hear about that. And you're right. The medical community sometimes just pushes stuff and it's either unwarranted or they don't use alternatives that could be healthier for you. We all are responsible for our own bodies, and our mission is to help people create and maintain wellness and wealth. So that's wealth financially and wealth spiritually and wealth emotionally and wealth physically, because if you have a healthy body, then you are wealthy. Before we end this call, Miss Vivian, are you on WOW? Miss Vivian?
Michelle, do you have a testimony, Todd?
Yes, I took it off mute and I was waiting for, I thought you might notice, RS. I just wanted to know that my doctor wrote me a prescription for metformin, and my sugar was really high and I was pre-diabetic, and I was working with a nutritionist to get my sugar down and everything, and I'm supposed to go back for another blood test. I've only been on the WOW a little while, but I didn't take the metformin. I didn't even know anything about it, but I read the sheet on it. I thought, I'm not taking that. That's terrible. And I knew I didn't need it. I knew I could get my sugar down naturally, but I'm so grateful that this product came along, because it'll be a lot easier. And you know, diabetes is rampant in this country, and the way they put sugar and everything, and you know, it's just terrible. So I'm really looking forward to some great results, and I'm noticing a difference in, you know, my appetite and my cravings, and I haven't got on the scale lately, so I don't know if the actual pounds difference, but I noticed my pants are fitting better. So I know it's working, and I'll have a better testimonial for you in the near future. But I'm grateful that this product came out, and I'm looking forward to great progress.
That's terrific, Todd. And you know, as Brian said, you will become a walking billboard. Are you noticing that your pants are a little bit more comfortable and your shirts are a little bit more comfortable as the days go by?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I got into a pair of trousers today that I have not worn in 1 year because I couldn't get the zipper over my belly.
Wow.
And
That's
today
awesome.
I'm wearing them and I can hike them up over my hips. To put that into perspective, I have very tiny little bones, but I'm 5'9", and I've lost 11 pounds now, but that 11 pounds for me is 2 dress sizes. So everybody's different.
Wow.
Yeah, Brian looks wonderful, and I don't know, and he says, you know, he only lost 8 or 9 pounds, but his clothes are fitting him better. He's looking better. He's feeling better. And I know that Rebecca's very grateful for that because she knows she's going to have him around for a very long time. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. We are going to continue doing these calls on Thursday. I have recorded this call, and I also will send out that link with last week's link. You'll have to please excuse me this coming Thursday. It is the first night of Passover, and I'm having a Seder in my home, so I won't be here. But Steve, if you or Brian want to take over the call, I'll give you all the information so you can open up the room. I'd like to. Okay.
I'd like to get Brian's testimonial on an email. I know we put them out on the testimonial sites and we do some other things, but I got hundreds of people I know have sugar issues. And Brian, if you get a chance just to send me one, I'd appreciate it. We can skip next week because you know what you're doing, and I don't know about Brian, but I don't know how to run the Zoom call. So why don't we just, you know, that's a good for you to take off, and we can do it the following week. And this just give us 2 weeks to really work on building this team up to quite a few people on the call. That, I don't know, that's my opinion. Brian can do what he feels comfortable with.
Brian?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I got a lot of church that weekend for being Easter weekend, so I'll probably be spending time with the family.
So we will be on April 6th, Thursday night after Dr. Lee's call. And I'd like to thank everyone. What?
April 6th is my birthday.
April 6th, right, I got that.
Wow, happy birthday.
Week from today. Yeah?
There
And
you go.
by the way, Mary Magoon, our 86-year-old in Maine, is not on any of the calls tonight because she was 87 years old today. And
Awesome.
Mary is knocking them dead with WOW and glutathione because she too bought the liters pack, and the fuel tabs because they use heating oil up there, and she's saving a bunch of money on her oil heat in her tank. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you very much. We don't want to be cut off. David Wall, next time we're here on April 6th, we're going to ask you to please give your testimony on WOW and glutathione for you and Cheryl. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a blessed.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
See you guys.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye.